Om, 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 Om Sahana Vavatu, Sahano Bhunaktu, Sahaviryam Karavavahai, Tejasvinavadhitamastu, Ma Vidvishavahai, Om Shanti Shanti Shanti, Shruti Smriti Purananam, Alayam Karunalayam, Namami Bhagavatpada, Shankaram Lokashankaram, Shankaram Shankaracharyam, Keshavam Badarayanam, Sutra Bhashya Kritau Vande, Bhagavantau Punah Punah. Bhagavad Gita, we did second chapter from the first verse onwards we have been seeing, and today we are going to see the 11th verse. I rushed through the first 10 verses because that is only talking about the context, not the topic. That is called Arjuna Vishada Yoga. Arjuna Vishada Yoga means Arjuna's problem of sadness, because he was attached to Bhishma, he was attached to Drona, he was attached to his brothers. And attachment always, you think about what you are attached to. You don't think about yourself, you think about something else other than what you are attached to. And when you lose that, what you are attached to, if you lose it, then you become sad. Nothing great about it. It's easy to understand. You are all attached to your children, grandchildren. And when you lose any of them, then you become sad. Not only after they go sad, even when they are alive, you become sad. Sadly worrying about them. Pata nahi kya hoga. I don't know what is going to happen to my children. What is going to happen to my grandchildren? In this manner, you worry. Attachment brings about worry. You to pakka hai. This is something really true. You worry about. And some people may argue, unless we have attachment, we can't look after our children. Therefore, attachment is necessary. Attachment, unless we are attached to the house, unless we are attached to our money, we can't really look after it. We can't keep it secure. Unless you are attached, you cannot look after things. Therefore, attachment is necessary. Some people argue. But my point is, in this world, nothing is necessary. Nothing has a purpose. This is a topic that I am going to give, and don't be perturbed by this topic. Don't really misunderstand me. I don't say things which are complicatory or controversial. I don't talk things. Therefore, whenever you think that particular statement is controversial, you just stop for some time and reflect on it. Then you will discover it's not controversial, it is true. Yes, it is true. I have been studying Vedanta for the last so many 50 years. And I am by nature very reflective person. And I don't like controversies. And therefore, nothing has any purpose. What is the purpose of sadness, please? Tell me. What is the purpose of sadness? If man is unhappy, what is the purpose? I don't think unhappiness has any purpose. It has a reason behind. If man becomes sad, attachment is the reason. If man has attachment, and then avidya is the reason, the fundamental reason, the spiritual reason. That is dehoham, as a jiva. He thinks himself to be the jiva. As a jiva, he gets attached to other jivas. As one wave, he gets attached to other waves. Therefore, sadness is due to attachment. Attachment is due to avidya. And in this manner, every event has a reason. Every perception has a reason. Sadness has a reason. If a person slips and falls down, what is the purpose, please? Tell me what is the purpose? There is no purpose. It has a reason. Generally, human beings always think of the purpose. They read a purpose into whatever happens. But actually, things have no purpose. Swamiji, eating has a purpose, drinking has a purpose because we keep alive. Is it not purposeful, Swamiji? Is not wealth purposeful, Swamiji? If I have wealth, then I can buy things, I can survive. In this manner, people say. But I say, even hunger has a reason, please. Don't think of the purpose of the hunger. I am embodied, I equate myself with the form. As a form I live, and therefore I have hunger. Hunger, thirst have a reason, and even caste has a reason. Only when a person is embodied, he is given a label. You are a Brahmana, you are a Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. Labels also have a reason. And that reason, fundamental reason, is non-understanding, misunderstanding about his own nature. I have already told you that by nature he is happiness. Why? Because he always searches, choicelessly searches for happiness. Ji. Universally searches for happiness. He cannot renounce his search for happiness. Ji. Even if he commits suicide, it is a strategy to find peace. Yes. Even committing suicide has a reason. That reason is only avidya, non-understanding of his nature. Therefore, just as fire is by nature, it is hot. When you think it is hot, it doesn't add to its nature. When you don't, if you think it is cold, it doesn't take away anything from its nature. The nature is always intact, no matter what you think about it. This is a very important point. Aheyam and anupadeyam. It's a very beautiful G. Vedanta is very beautiful if you are receptive to it. And try to be receptive. I'm not saying anything that is controversial at all. Be receptive. And just as hunger has no purpose, we read purpose, that's a different matter. But if you think deeply, hunger, thirst have a reason called embodiment. Embodiment has a reason because adhyasa. Ultimately, the fundamental reason is adhyasa. Adhyasa means a misconception, anyatha grahanam, about oneself. Why there is anyatha grahanam? Why there is a misconception? Because I don't understand properly. Why I don't understand properly? Because I am all the time thinking about other things. I don't look at myself very closely. I have no exposure to Vedanta. And I have told you Vedanta is a pramanam. It points out the truth. When it points out, it is my responsibility to see what is pointed out. If I'm absent-minded, it points out all right, but I can just miss it. Yes, despite being pointed out, I can miss the truth. Yes. Yes, please. I can always miss the truth, even if it is pointed out. Like, I can open my eyes, they show me the tree, but being absent-minded, I can miss it. I see a person coming and standing in front of me, but I'm absent-minded, I don't register him. This registering is what is called understanding. Correct registering. Registering one's own existence. Not registering the dissimilarity between one's existence and the form. They are not two details. One is an appearance, the other is the truth. And therefore, don't think in terms of purpose of things. Oh, if I don't have children, what will happen to me? And who will burn my body? This is all really meaningless. Think in life about the reason. What is the reason of my struggle? Struggle has no purpose. Struggle has a reason. Unhappiness has no purpose, it has a reason. Hunger has no purpose, it has a reason. Thirst has no purpose, it has a reason. Sickness has a reason. Life has a reason. Death has a reason. Unhappiness has a reason. If man is by nature all absolute happiness, the unhappy thought, where from it has come? Unhappiness is in the form of a thought place. Unhappiness is in the form of a reason which is in the form of a thought. That I am the form, this reason. This is the reason. I am the form is a thinking. It is an uncorrected thought. When the 10th man doesn't know himself, it is a thought of not looking at himself correctly. And therefore, unhappiness is in the form of a thought, whereas happiness, peace is its nature. Dukkham is a thought place. Dukkham is in the form of thinking, whereas Sukham is in the form of nature. This also I am going to elaborate on in times to come. It is not that Sukham also is another thought, no. Sukham, if you think deeply, it is your nature. Comfort is your nature. Peace is your nature. Discomfort is a thought. Sadness is a thought. Grief is a thought. And therefore, between that thought that I am the form and your nature, there is a contrast. And this contrast is what is called the unhappiness. There is a rub between what you think and what you are. This rub is what is called the restlessness. This rub is what is called unhappiness. Therefore, unhappiness is the rub between what you think of yourself and what you actually are. This is the rub between thinking and being. You are being unlimited. Like when the water thinks I am a wave, there is a rub between its thinking that I am only a given form, diable form, diminishable form, increasable form, and diminishable form, and ultimately subject to death form, and water, which it survives the waves, death. So let us call one is a survivor. The water remains, whereas the wave dies. And when the water thinks I am only a wave, there is a contrast between, there is a rub between its thinking and what it is. What it thinks about itself and what it is. There is a rub. And this rub is what is called inner uneasiness. We may attribute this uneasiness to so many failures in life, etc. But fundamentally, this uneasiness is only due to adhyasa. Adhyasa is the reason, the rub between what man views himself, what man views his nature, what he views his nature to be, and his nature. There is a rub, and that rub is what is called uneasiness. Yes. The 10th man, he has forgot, there is a contrast between what he thinks. He thinks that the 10th man is far away, somewhere is lost, but he happens to be the 10th man. Between them, there is, and the traveler also said that made the statement, thou art the 10th man, figure out. And when the teaching came, he was absent-minded, and he goes on again searching. Therefore, when the teaching comes, please, every word of the teaching you must register. Registering the teaching is very important. Vedanta is not something, it is not a belief, it is not some kind of a faith, it is not some kind of a belief, it is not some kind of speculation, it is not some kind of a speculative philosophy. It's not sense data based science. It is anubhava swarupam. It is your existence. Your existence need not be inferred. You can't say, I'm seeing, therefore I must be there. You never use the word I must be there. I am there. You always say, I am there. I am there. When somebody asks you, are you there? You don't say, let me put on the light and see whether I am there or not. You don't say that. Yes, I am there. Yes, I am there. It is your existence is self-evident. And therefore, for lack of understanding of the self-evident nature of your being, in contrast to the form, the body, when the form is limited, if you are unlike every form, then you are unlimited. Every form has a dimension, has a size. Mountain has a size, a pebble has a size, this body has a size, an elephant's body also has a size, even God's body has a size. Any form has a size. Even the entire universe has a size. It doesn't extend to the deep sleep state. So it has a limited size. It is there only, it is confined to the waking state. It does not, the waking space doesn't extend to the dream state. The dream space is different. And it doesn't extend to the deep sleep state. There is a place called deep sleep state where there is no place, where there is no space. And deep sleep state is a time when there is no time. There is a time when there is no time. There is a place when there is no, where there is no place. There is no space. Deep sleep state is space free. And therefore, even the waking space has its limitation. Even though we say it is boundary free, it is boundless, but it's not infinite, please. It is boundless. Physically, it is boundless, but it's not equivalent to the truth. It is also a part of creation. Space also is a part of creation according to Vedanta. It is a part of perception. It is the very perception that is called the creation. It is explained by Vedanta as creation. I will talk about what is the difference between perception and creation as we proceed further, but right now understand that attachment has no purpose. Attachment has a reason. The reason is avidya. This Krishna understands. Arjuna doesn't understand. Arjuna thinks I am attached and therefore I am grieving for them. I am going to kill them. How am I going to survive without them? In this manner. Ashocyan anvashocastvam prajnavadamscha bhashase. Bhagavan says, Ashocyan. These are Bhishma, Drona, etc. are Ashocyaha. Na Shocyaha, Ashocyaha. Tan Ashocyan. Anvashocastvam. They don't deserve your grief. They don't deserve your grief does not mean they are bad or anything. We are not talking about ethics at all here. We don't describe anybody good or bad. We are saying everyone is by nature the truth. We are not, even Rama is the truth and Ravana also is the truth. Every living being, even amoeba is the truth. The truth really abides in every cell, in every living being, in every thought, the source. Like water abides in every bubble, in every wave, in every breaker. Therefore, there is no wave, there is no breaker where there is no water. In fact, these waves and bubbles are not parallel to water. They are non-separate from water, please. To be non-separate from water means a very big thing. It is oneness, please. We describe the waves. In order to, we describe them to show, to point out they are non-separate from water. They are in fact water. Water is in fact water. And the wave also is in fact water. That means water alone is. That is the nature of the water. In the same manner, consciousness is consciousness. And matter also, what is objectifiable is also the unobjectifiable consciousness. It is self-evident. It doesn't require to be objectified. It doesn't, like silence, it doesn't require to be objectified. You experience silence, Ji, as your own being. Silence is not another detail of the creation. Sound is a detail. Silence is not a detail. Thought is a detail, one of the details, but silence is not one of the details. That silence is the silent nature of your being is called silence. Silence is not somewhere, it's not really located in any space. When you are quiet, when the thoughts subside, you are silence. By nature, you are silence. Silence is not absence of thoughts. Silence is the presence of you. This is a very important part. Sushupti is not to be looked at as the absence of the waking state and the dream state. If you look at the deep sleep state as the absence of the waking state and the absence of the dream state, then it becomes the third state, avidya kalpitam. It is a third state. People think it is only absence of the unhappiness, not presence of happiness. I say it is presence of peace because you don't experience absence, please. You only remember the prior presence. This is a very deep point. You have to understand. You have to be highly intelligent. You have to be highly receptive, rather. I am sorry, it's not intelligent. You have to be highly receptive to understand this. You have to receive what I'm saying, that experiencing absence is nothing but remembering the prior presence. You are not experiencing the absence of the sixth element. It is wrong to say. Think about it. You are not experiencing the absence of sixth element. You are only experiencing the presence of the five elements. Only five elements. And sixth element is not the absence of sixth element you are not experiencing. You say there are only five elements, therefore if there is a sixth element, if you talk about it, say it's not there. I don't experience it. I neither experience the presence of the sixth element. When I can't experience the presence of the sixth element, how can I experience the absence of the sixth element? Presence of the sixth element is a thought, and the absence of the sixth element also will be the memory of the prior presence, is called the absence. And when the presence is not there, absence also is not there. And therefore, what is there? Neither presence of the sixth element nor the absence of the sixth element. You have to receive this thought very clearly. There is neither presence of the sixth element nor the absence of the sixth element. It is only when there is a presence, prior presence, then you look back at it. That is not now. So that is what is called absence. You are not experiencing the absence, you are only remembering the prior presence. Your friend is not there now. You are not experiencing his absence, please. You are only remembering his prior presence. Yes, you call it, I'm experiencing his absence. That is wrong. You can't experience what is not there. You can only experience what is there. And therefore, you can only, you can, the prior presence of your friend, you remember, and that is what you call, I'm experiencing the absence. Therefore, deep sleep state, you don't experience what is not there. The waking state that is not there, you don't experience. You are neither remember, there is no thought of memory of the waking state. There is no thought of the memory of the dream state. There is no thought of the memory of any object. Therefore, you can't experience what is not there. You are only being peaceful. You are being free from the thought of the presence of the waking and the thought of the absence of the waking. Absence also is a thought, please. This everybody has to think. Don't react to me. Yes, people try to react to me. No, how can you say? Because habitually they have been thinking, we are thinking of the absence. Say, this is wrong. Even if it is everybody thinks, it is still wrong. A wrong is wrong, even if everybody thinks so. So what? But don't react to me. I have told you. You can always ask me questions. We are going to have some question answer session once in a while. But I would like to, I would like to give you a very good answer, but then You have to receive what I say. You have to listen. You should not be clumsy. You should always really try not to be clumsy in your thinking. This clumsiness is what you have to root out from your life. This clumsiness is not good. You have to be clear. And for that, you don't have to be highly educated, please. You have to be receptive. You have to be interested. That's all in the topic. Every time you have to understand that the topic is your existence. And if the truth is something other than you, and even if it is glorious, so what to you? It's nothing to you. If Bhagavan is great, so what to you? You feel only jealous of him. But here Vedanta is telling you are the truth. And therefore look back, fall back on your own nature. It is not just in controlling thoughts. It is understanding your nature. You don't have to beat all the waves down to know the water, to be waveless. You don't have to do, because water is in and through the waves. And therefore, when you understand the nature of the wave as water, you don't have to beat the waves down. Similarly, you don't have to beat the thoughts down, because every thought is made of awareness. And that awareness is what you are. Thought is but it is there. Thought is rooted in you, please. It is your thinking. It cannot fly away from you. It can subside in you and it can manifest in you. Perception also can manifest in you and subside in you. When it subsides in you, we call it as sushupti. When it manifests in you, it is called the jagrat. You are the same. You are remaining. You illumine the manifest state as well as the unmanifest state. You think of, in the waking state, you think of the waking state. In the waking state itself, you think of the absence of the waking state in the deep sleep state. In the waking state, you think about the deep sleep state as absence of the waking state. But in the deep sleep state, when it is experienced, there is no thought at all. It is anubhava of the presence of yourself. And therefore, coming back to the topic is the attachment has no purpose, please. Attachment has no purpose. Attachment is stupidity. It is stupidity. Attachment has no purpose. Attachment has a reason. When you don't have interest in the truth, then you get into all these problems. Attachment is a part of samsara. It's a part of life. It is a part of life. It is not a part of the truth, please. It's not the truth. Truth has no details in it. Truth has no adjectives in it. In fact, it is taught as satyam. It is taught as jnanam. It is taught as anantam. Therefore, it is a swarupa lakshanam. Therefore, it is not a viseshanam. Satyam is not the viseshanam of the truth. In fact, satyam means it is not jadam. Jnanam means it is not vritti. It is satyam. Satyam Brahma, Jnanam Brahma, Anantam Brahma in this manner. Therefore, don't think that these words, Swamiji, are they not adjectives of the self. You don't have to argue like that. You can argue with me, but don't argue unnecessarily. Don't be reactive silently inside yourself. If you have any doubt, you can always ask me, but don't suffer the silent reactions against the teaching. This teaching is different, please. It is Vedanta. I am not trying to give you something just to keep going in life. No, I am giving you the answer. The answer is yourself. Amara Guruji used to say, ununderstood, you are a problem to yourself. Understood, you are the answer to yourself. And therefore, attachment doesn't have any purpose. Attachment has a reason. Ashochan, in fact, Bhishma, Drona, etc., they don't deserve any grief, Arjuna. Why? Because they're all paramarthataha, the truth. The truth, you don't have to, you need to understand the truth. You don't have to worry about the truth. You need to understand Bhagavan. You don't have to worry about them. You don't have to worry about any person, a living person or a dead person. You don't have to worry. Why? Because intelligence is meant not for worrying. Intelligence is meant only for understanding the truth. I should use the intelligence to understand the truth about myself. And therefore, here Bhagavan says, Ashochan, Anvashoch, but then you are grieving them. You are worrying about Bhishma. You are worrying about Drona, even though they don't deserve any worry about from you. In fact, nobody, no individual in this world deserves any worry. No individual deserves any tears from you. Why? Because every individual is the truth. That individuality is due to the form. When you transcend the individuality, you stand the Paramatma. Not that you are by nature limited. You are by nature unlimited, because as conscious being, you are unlimited. As a form, you have a size, limitation. Therefore, there is a contrast between the limitation of the form and the unlimitedness of the consciousness that is in equation with the form. And that is what I said, rub. The rub is between the limitation of the form, the limitation of the conclusion that I am the form, and the nature of the being, which is unlimited. Between the limited and unlimited is the rub, and that rub makes you uneasy, I said. Yes. And therefore, no jiva, you need to worry. If you don't have the worry, then you are peaceful. Every dead person is not dead. Every person who has left the form, is even leaving the form also is a perception. Perception sinks into oneself, becomes unmanifest. The entire universe is nothing but perception. It is not an object of perception. Any error looks like an object of perception. Even snake looks like an object of perception. But snake is a perception. Dream looks like objects of perception, but dream is a perception. And when you close to your eyes, your perception just sinks into you. And when they sink into you, they have, that is called a laya in you. They have laya in you. And then they manifest again, the perceptions begin. The same perceptions remanifest. Therefore, now now they sink, now they manifest. Now they sink, now they manifest. And therefore, every jiva, he doesn't leaving the form is a sentence that is made by the society. It is a societal statement. It is a social custom to say that he has left the form, he has died, and he has gone to heaven, etc. These are all just really social statements. But the actuality is all the perceptions of his have sunk into himself. And when the wave really dissolves in water, has laya in water, it can't fly away from the water. It can only sink. Perceptions cannot fly away from one's being. They can only sink into one's being. And they sink. They sink. When they sink, that is called a laya. And a laya is, the truth alone is the dissolving point of the universe. And the truth alone is is the point in which everything becomes manifest. Yes, that is why it is said in Shruti, Yato vayumani bhutani jayante yena jatani jivanti yat prayanti abhisam vishanti iti tad vijijnasasva tad brahmeti. In this manner, Varuna told Bhriguji, the truth is defined. It is not that the truth is defined. See, it has to be defined it is a part of teaching, a definition of the truth. It is a source of everything. It is a support of everything. It is the resolving point of everything. Yes, it is a definition, but this definition is, is not its nature. In relation to the universe, it is the source. In relation to the universe, it is the resolving point of the universe. In relation to the universe, it is the support. From its own point of view, it is nirvisesham. Just as from your son point of view, you are a father, from your own point of view, you are nirvisesham. You are unrelated. Consciousness is unrelated because it's non-dual. One without a second, Advaitam. Alone it is there. And therefore, you don't have to worry about any individual G. Every individual is as the truth, as Paramartha, and therefore you don't have to worry, maybe he has gone, etc. Don't think he is gone. Everything has sunk back in him. And himself is unlimited being, he is. And therefore, when you look at an individual as solely understand, solely conscious being, is not a biological individual, is not a physiological individual, is not even a thinking individual. Even thinking is not a part of the consciousness, please. It is thought wrong, but wrong thinking is not a quality of the truth. The rope is thought the snake wrongly, but it doesn't become a detail of the rope. The error can never qualify the fact, please. The flatness of the earth can never qualify the earth, the round earth. The earth is round is a fact, and it is not qualified. Qualified means it's not its adjective. Our thinking that the error is erroneous thinking, not erroneous thing. Many people think it is erroneous thing. There is no erroneous thing, please. There is only erroneous thinking. This you have to be very clear. Erroneous thinking. And therefore, you think that he is an individual, but he is in fact the unlimited, solely conscious being. And you are thinking that he is a Brahmana, he is a Kshatriya, he is an American, he is a Canadian, he is an Indian. It is only your thinking, it is an erroneous thinking about the truth. And that thinking, erroneous thinking, is swabhavikam. Swabhavikam, I explained before, that is, you find yourself with that thinking. It is anadi thinking. Anadir anantaha naisargikoyam loka vyavaharaha, Bhagavan said. It is naisargikaha, it is swabhavikaha. And therefore, ashochan anvashochastvam prajnavadamscha bhashase. And you are talking words of wisdom. On the one hand, you are so confused, you are grieving for the people, which only is a clue to your being ignorant about yourself. And on the other hand, you are talking the words of wisdom. Nakangshe vijayam Krishna, nacharajyam sukhani cha, kinno rajyena govinda, kim bhogair jivitena va. In this manner, you are talking the words of vairagyam, words of wisdom, great words. What am I doing? That means what? You are a pagal. Bhagavan Shankaracharya says, unmatta haiva. He is confused. Let me translate that word. Unmatta means, pagalpan is not the problem. Confusion is the problem. If a person is pagal, he cannot even understand the problem. We are talking about confusion. If I think the round earth as flat earth, it is a confusion. If I think the sand as water, mirage, it is a confusion. It may appear to be water, but I conclude that it is water alone, nothing else. That is confusion. The rope, I mistake it for snake. It is a confusion. And the conscious being is mistaken for the form. What is the purpose of a mistake, please? Mistakes have no purpose. Mistakes have a reason. Absent-mindedness. You don't look at things correctly. Closely you don't look at things. That is the reason why there is a confusion. Not the confusion came about. No, the confusion is. There is confusion because there is lack of clarity. Don't say, once upon a time, when did this confusion start? Don't say. It is anadi. Once we say anadi, Atma Vidya is anadi, then it has no beginning. Don't ask a question, when did it start? I say, once we say it is anadi, then it has no beginning. You can't trace it to time. Time itself can be traced to avidya. It is an erroneous thinking about the truth, and within that erroneous thinking is time. And therefore, शोच्यान अन्वशोचस्तुम प्रज्ञा भातांश्च भाषसे गतासून अगतासोंश्च नानुशोचन्ति पंडिताः. Panditaha means a wise man, a Brahmajnani. Panda means Brahma Vidya. Brahma Vishayaha Vidya is called Panda. Brahma Vishayaha Vidya. Pertaining to one's own existence, the one who is clear, the clarity about one's existence is called, makes one Panda. But even though in the society there are some people who are called Pandas, whoever gives you some tirtham, etc., whoever gives you some mantra, they are also called Pandas. Those who are in Tirthasthanam like Badri, they are all called Pandas. But the etymological meaning of the word Panda, one is the Rudi, the other is the Vyutpatti. Rudi means how is it taken to be? How is it taken to mean in the society? In the society, it is taken to mean that it is any Brahmana who is doing some rituals is called a Panda. But Panditaha means, Panda means Brahmajnanam is called Panda. That is the etymological meaning. Panda means Brahma Vishayaha Jnanam. Brahma Vishayam Jnanam is what is called Panda. Brahma Vishayaha Jnanam. Brahma Vishayam Jnanam. Brahma Vishaya Vidya is what is called Panda. These wise men do not grieve the Gatasuna. Gatasuna, Gatasunscha. Gatasuhu means the one whose prana has gone. Gata prana. Gatasun means those who are dead. Agatasun means those who are alive. Nan anushochanti. They don't worry. The wise men do not worry about the living and the not living. They don't worry about the living. Why they don't worry about the living? Maybe they are feeling less. No, sir. It is not that feeling less. That very feelingness. It is not that feelingness they don't have. They may feel, they may be compassionate, but at the same time, they are wise. It is due to their understand clarity, they don't worry. Worry cannot be handled by feelingness. Worry cannot be handled. Dukkham cannot be handled by feelingness, please. Feeling is too small, is nothing. Dukkham is, worry is a very big phenomenon. You can't handle worry like that. You can't handle worry through meditation, through this, through prayer, etc. Worry will be there. Even in prayer, you will worry. Worry means it can only be handled through Brahma Vidya. That is why the whole Vedic culture is about Brahma Vidya, and don't really take it lightly, please. Because Brahma Vidya is presented by Vedanta, as the answer to human beings. It is meant to look at your existence. The water is told, hey, you are water. The wave is told, hey, you are not a wave, you are water. It's no ordinary message, please. It's no ordinary message. The jiva is told, you are not a jiva. You are not a form. You are the formless truth. Formless presence, conscious presence. You are not you are not absence of form. You are a presence of consciousness. And therefore, the wise men don't worry about the dead because nobody dies. I have explained to you death means all perceptions sink into oneself. The time also, the perception of time also sinks. The perception of space sinks. The perception of five elements sinks. And all this, they all look like objects of perception, but actually they are only perception. All this we will see later. It's going to be a long haul, and you have to listen to me as long as you can. And then even after you stop listening, you have to reflect upon what you have heard. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.